Hello guys and good evening and welcome to another race with the lads of AOR F6. We're here at the Temple of Speed for round number 14 at the Italian Grand Prix. We are here at Monza. Now, unfortunately I wasn't here last week to cover the Belgian Grand Prix, and I apologise for that, but we are here and we are looking forward to an absolute cracker of a race. It's going to be a hell of a run down to turn 1, and I think we all know that is one of the trickiest turn 1s to actually get right, as we got a couple of cars out on track right now, including the Force India of Sten, I'm going to say Sten, and we got the Renault or Don Silva out and about. We got last week's race winner, Romata, in the Alfa Romeo Sauber, just ahead of his teammate right behind Sloshy. So everyone is out on track, trying to get a nice early time in. But you know what I mean, slipstream is powerful on this game. It could help when it comes to lap time, but you do not want to get caught in dirty air through corners like this one right here, Ascari. And I will be expecting a lot of caution through there because those curbs can be very unforgiving. Another curb to look out for is out of turn 7, the second Lesmo. That is going to be another curb that could throw a spanner into the works. But as we come around now, we got Romata, last week's race winner, about to start his flying lap. And we're going to go on board with him. We're going to have the telemetry on lap delta engaged. Let's see what times he can do as he goes through the first chicane of turn 1 and 2. Through turn 3, the Curva Grande. As he comes down to the second chicane, also a very tricky corner, very easy to get the second part of that chicane wrong, very easy to hit that bump and it will spit you out and spit you into a spin. As he comes through the Lesmos, through the second Lesmo now, it's a nice exit, opening DRS, overtake mode engaged. As he's on the run down to Ascari, spotting his braking point, lovely. And now is full throttle down to Parabolica. Let's see how he navigates this. He's got the Red Bull just ahead of him. So a bit of slipstream, maybe a bit of dirty air through Parabolica, but here he comes to the line. He's out of ERS and it is a 119.5, but immediately gets beaten by his teammate Sloshy with a 119.2, and that is a very impressive lap time from the Alfa Romeo lads, from the Saubers. Very impressive lap time. We've also got Dale on a 120.9, and I believe the Force Indias are kind of gearing themselves up for another run with a 22 dead for Sten and a 22.9 for Infinities. Not a good lap from Infinities, as we got the McLaren of James going third with a 120.2, and Nas just behind him with a 120.295, 9 hundredths of a second off James time. So it's going to be a close qualifying session between these guys. A sneaky ninja in the Renault pops in with a 20.6. So we got the Haas of Richmond with a 22.6. We got anyone? Oh, it's SJH pops in with a 20.4. I was just about to go on board with him, as Baba seems to be setting himself up for a lap. We got the Ferrari of Vallicello Coming through Parabolica. Is he on a flying lap or is he just setting himself up? I think he's just setting himself up. And here he goes to start his flying lap. We're going to stay on board with the Ferrari for the time being, as Nas does go quicker than Ham is with a 20.084. A good lap from Nas right there. And as we saw a lock up from Vallicello into turn 1, expect to see quite a lot of that in this Grand Prix. From what I understand from last week anyway, it was a very damp Belgian Grand Prix with not many people actually finishing the race. I think we had nine race finishers. Obviously, as mentioned previously, Romata actually took the race win. That's 2 back-to-back. Remember, he got the win in Hungary as well. Can he make it a hat-trick here today? I'm not sure. Sloshy, the championship leader, 26 points clear at the top. He came in second last week. And we had the Haas of Dale getting up on the podium in 3rd place, promoting him up to 5th in the championship standings. Another point of interest, Don Silva got 5th last week, and oh my god, there we go. That's what I was talking about earlier. That curb, it can spit you up and throw you off course, as Vallicello found out firsthand there. Not great for Vallicello at all. As we got Romata coming through. Ascari on the run down to Parabolica, getting ready to start his 2nd flying lap of the session. His teammate also on an out lap. So far we got Alfa Romeo lockout 1-2 as Aero Specialist pops in with a 20.1 into 4th place. He'll go. And Sneaky Ninja also improved to a 20.1 as well. So here we go on board with last week's race winner, the Alfa Romeo Sauber of Romata, who is now sitting 10th in the championship, which is a lovely place to be considering this is only his 4th racing weekend in AOR F6. As he navigates the Lesmos. Lovely. I see what the Delta time's saying as we come to the 2nd sector split. 25.7 in the middle sector. And there we go. That was the curb I was on about through Ascari. If you hit that curb, it will spit you out. As Dan Gur actually pops in 2nd with a 19.3. So he has split the 2 Saubers as Romata actually comes into the pits. Have we got anyone on an alternative strategy? Richman is coming out on a set of the soft compound tyres. Now, a 1-stop is doable from both compounds really, super soft and the soft tyres. Obviously super softs, you're going to be looking to make that pit stop around lap 10, and the soft tyres, you can take them a few more laps to maybe lap, I'm guessing around about lap 15 is probably the maximum you could get out of the soft tyres. But it is also possible to do a 1-stop from super softs to the soft compound tyres around this track if you can stretch those super soft tyres to lap 13. And chuck on the set of the soft tyres. You'll be struggling with tyre wear, but you will be on a faster compound to begin with, as we got Nas going off at the second Lesmo. Into the gravel he goes, and that's his lap ruined. We go on board now with Infinities, the race winner at Austria and Silverstone. Unfortunately, he suffered a DNF last weekend, as James pops in with a 19.4, pushing Romata down to 4th. Infinities, he's just a little bit down on his quickest lap at the moment, but he runs wide on the exit of Ascari. That could be a track extension, as we got a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I wonder what for. Has someone binned it in Ascari? I don't know, as Infinity does come into the pits. I'm guessing he invalidated his lap by extending the track. As we got Jacob, who has dropped down to 3rd in the championship. Now he's not going to be happy with that. A DNF for the past 2 racing weekends he suffered a DNF. Hungary and Belgium, he's going to be looking to bounce back here at this Grand Prix. Currently in 10th place. We're going to see how he does, but he is on his outlap. As we go on board with the Renault, a sneaky ninja, as he comes through the Curve de la Grande. I wonder if we're going to see an Italian team on the top step of the podium. I mean, we have 3 Italian teams here. The red Ferraris, of course. The Toro Rossos. And the Alfa Romeo Saubers, as that Haas gets out of the way. Kind of awkwardly. And there goes Romata into the water on the exit of Ascari, and he is out of the session. That is heartbreaking for the Alfa Romeo Sauber of Romata. As I said, that curb will spit you out if you hit it wrong, and I'm guessing he did hit it wrong, but I mean, the Haas of Richmond, who is out there on no fuel. He has absolutely nothing. He's going 65 miles an hour. He's going to have to get out of the way. Well out of the way. Because he is in a very awkward position right now, is that Haas. Here comes Baba in the Williams into the pits. He'll come. So at the moment, on provisional pole, we have Sloshy in 2nd. We have Danger in 3rd. We have James 4th, but unable to take any further part in this session. We have the other Alfa Romeo of Romata. SJH is in 3rd. And we got the lead Ferrari of Ivan in 6th. Don Silva in 7th. Nas in the lead Mercedes in 8th. Aero Specialist in 9th, and we got the Force India of Infinities in 10th. with Sneaky Ninja 11th, Jacob in 12th, Rich in 13th, Dale 14th, Bullet 15th, Stern 16th, Richmond 17th, Baba, who has retired from the session, I believe, will start at the back when Vallicello sets a lap time, who is currently in 19th and last on the grid. Here he comes through Parabolica. Is that going to be a lap time for Vallicello? It puts him up in the 6th. He is now the lead Ferrari ahead of his teammate. Now, does Vallicello have enough fuel to kind of go for another lap? I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see. As we got Sloshy provisional pole at the moment, just warming up those tyres as SJH retires from the session. So he'll be taking no further part. As here goes Sloshy to start his final flying lap of the session. As we got Infinity's going up into P5. We're at 19.7. A good lap from Infinity's. I think he needed that as we got the Mercedes getting out of the way. As Sloshy at the first sector split, there's a 25.5. A good first sector. He's got to navigate the second chicane. Lovely. He's got a Force India up ahead. That could potentially mean a little bit of dirty air, but also it could mean a nice decent amount of slipstream as he goes through the Lesmos. DRS wide open. Overtake mode engaged. And here he goes, climbing to 270 miles an hour. As he goes through a Scary, I'm not sure if that would have been an invalidation. He did hit the curb. As here he comes through Parabolica. Is this going to be an improvement from Sloshy? Here he goes to the line. Jacob retires and Sloshy improves to a 19.141. Brilliant. What can Dan Gur do? Coming through Parabolica right now. Is the Toro Rosso going to steal pole? No, he comes into the pits. What about the McLaren of James? He has just got out of the slipstream of that Force India. Hopefully that might have helped him, I'm not sure. And here he comes to the line. And it's no improvement from James. And I think that is the lot. Everyone else is either in the pit or have completed their flying laps. So there is your pole man, Saubers. Sloshy, the championship leader, with a Toro Rosso alongside. So we have an Italian team front row lockout. As we run through the standings right now, as these cars decide to go single file, human centipeding around the track, as you do when the AI take over. So let's have a look at the final results of qualifying. We have Sloshy on pole with a 19.141. We have Dan Gur in second, James in third, Romata fourth, Infinity's fifth, Aero Specialist sixth, SJH 7th, Vallicello in 8th, Ivan in 9th, Don Silva in 10th, Nas 11th, Rich 12th, Sneaky Ninja in 13th. Jacob all the way down in 14th. 15th, we have the other McLaren of Bullet. 16th, we have Stern. 17th, we have Dale. Richman in 18th. And bringing up the rear of the grid. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to read the rear of the grid. I believe it was Baba. Yeah, I think it was Baba at the back end of the grid. And we have rain, ladies and gentlemen, on the circuit, in the sky, all over the place. It is absolutely chucking it down. As the track, it appears to be drenched. Is this going to be full wet weather compound tyres, or is it going to be intermediate conditions? We will see as soon as these guys are out on track on their formation laps, and this is going to make things very interesting into turn 1. It was already going to be interesting, but add in these weather conditions, it's going to make it even more interesting. So let's see what kind of compound everyone is on. They are all on the intermediate tyres. So this will be... It's going to be interesting going into turn 1. There's not a lot of room into turn 1. And very likely of a lockup. Add in these conditions as well, there could be a few instances as Dale was disqualified from the formation lap, being a naughty boy. So the Temple of Speed has the conditions against its favour. Now I'm also going to look at the team championships right now as these guys are on their formation laps. So we got Sauber leading the way on 212 points, to Red Bull in second on 177, Renault in third with 154, Williams fourth with 139, McLaren in fifth with 123, Haas in sixth with 112, Ferrari managing to hit triple digits with 100 in seventh. We got Force India on 76 and Mercedes 66 points down in ninth, and bringing up the back of the championship is Toro Rosso on 30 points, but I'm guessing Dan Gurr wants to add to that, and so does Aero Specialist, as these guys are coming through Parabolica right now, getting ready to form up on the grid. We have a few cars who are off, including the Ferrari of Ivan, who has been disqualified from the session. Nas, Rich 500 and Dale, 4 guys disqualified from the formation lap. As these guys are all forming up on the grid, psyching themselves up, getting ready for those 5 red lights, 27 laps here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, round number 14. Lights are out and we are underway, and it is a very good start from Sloshy from pole, as he's got, oh my god, we got the Toro Rosso of Aero Specialist and the Ferrari of Vallicello going into the wall. As there we go, there's some contact into turn 1 as everyone just skids across, and there goes Sloshy, lost the back end, lost the traction. Oh my god, we got collisions galore as Vallicello gets a 5-second stop-go penalty, and so does Stern for ignoring yellow flags, and that is not good. But so far, who have we got? Positions change-wise, Aero Specialist all the way down to 9th place as Baba's retired from the session. I wonder what's going on there. As we got Romata going down the order. What's happened to Romata? He's off. Romata is off, and I think that's just before the second Lesmo. Ah, heartbreaking stuff here at Monza as we got Rich battling with Vallicello for 12th place. Let's head further up to the front. Infinity's under pressure from the Red Bull of SJH around the outside of Parabolica. Is he going to do it? It's going to be a drag race down to turn 1. No, Infinity comes into the pits. Releasing SJH, who's going to be under pressure now from Don Silva into turn 1. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Don Silva gets the move done. Up into 4th place. He'll go. As we got the Red Bull of Jacob and the Ferrari of Ivan getting very close with each other on the exit of turn 2. As Infinity's Bullet, Aero Specialist, Rich, Vallicello and Dale all go into the pits, and that's going to be heartbreaking for him as Romata does get past Stern for P11. As Ivan, he's having a little luck on SJH, but he backs out of it into Ascari. Smart move in my opinion. As we've got SJH on the back of Don Silva side by side on the run down to Parabolica. Here we go. A little bit of contact and Don Silva able to keep ahead of SJH for the time being, but this is where SJH is going to get the second bite of Slipstream and possibly make a move into turn 1. We're going to stay on board. He's having a little luck. He's having a peek, but he thinks better of it. Tucks back in behind. As we got the Ferrari of Ivan behind under pressure from the Red Bull of Jacob. And here we go side by side, SJH and Don Silva into the second chicane. Here we go. Don Silva able to hold it again. SJH unable to get that switchback line working for him as we go into the first Lesmo. But Don Silva goes a little bit wide. That's going to compromise him slightly. And here we now are onto the straight on the run down to Ascari. Are we going to see any moves whatsoever? Ivan is now in the mix. Now they all kept it clean. SJH right underneath the gearbox of Don Silva. As once again they're side by side into Ascari. As Sloshy sets a new fastest lap. But here we go. SJH able to get the switchback, I think. No, he doesn't. It looked like he got a switchback, but here we go. Slipstream. All the way down to turn 1. Who's going to be able to hold it? As Don Silva, he does get the braking bit wrong onto the sleeping policeman. And he does lose out to SJH, and he's going to be under pressure now from Ivan in 5th. Well, in 6th. This is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Ivan down the inside of the second chicane, and he is able to get the job done. So at the moment, let's have a look and see who's gained. So SJH gaining 3 positions after that start. Ivan getting 4. And Don Silva Also up 4, Jacob gets up 7 places, so he had a brilliant start, maybe able to avoid all the contact that happened into turn 1. Sneaky Ninja in 8th, Nas in 9th. Romata, unfortunate what happened to him. I believe he just went a bit too wide onto the grass as he went through the first Lesmo. And I believe we saw Aero Specialist and Valicello colliding into the wall on the straight off the start, which is not what you want to see. But Infinity's losing 7 places, Aero Specialist losing 9 places, and Valicello losing 8 places off the start. Astern comes into the pits, and we know he's got a 5-second stop-go penalty, as did Valicello. So we're going to go back towards this fight. Up front, Ivan versus Don Silva, as Jacob back end stepping out just behind, able to catch it. These conditions are very tricky. I mean, I can't even believe we're 5 laps into this race already. It's absolutely flown by. I mean, Jacob all over the back of Don Silva. This could be a good run out of Ascari. Let's see what the pace is like on the way down to Parabolica. Can he get alongside him to make a pop? And let's not forget, Sloshy setting another fastest lap. Getting comfortable with the conditions, he is. 3.7 seconds out in the lead, as we got SJH closing in on James. Romata, is he going to get past the Mercedes of Nasi? Does into turn 1. Easy on the brakes. Lovely stuff. He is now on a recovery drive. Next up for him, Sneaky Ninja. And then onto this pretty much 4-5-way battle, I'd say. Because you got James just ahead of SJH, who's just ahead of Ivan, who's just ahead of Don Silva, who is being pressurized more than anyone from Jacob in 7th. As we got Aero Specialist getting very close to Richmond in the Haas. So that could be interesting. Aero Specialist also trying to make his way back up the field. And Don Silva appears to be losing a bit of pace to these guys ahead of him. Is he going to be under pressure from Jacob now? Not quite yet, but a man who will be under pressure is James, because here comes SJH on the exit of Ascari. He's going to get into the slipstream. Here we go, a lovely overhead camera angle from the game right there. It was lovely to have a look at that camera angle. And here we goes down the inside, SJH. A little bit of contact made, but to be fair, not much James could do about that. It didn't look like he had enough room to work with from SJH in that second part of the chicane. So, I mean, fair play for the little bit of contact there. I mean, I personally don't think it was anything really in it. Just James got very much squeezed onto that curb. We've got a Ferrari of Ivan losing the back end slightly. That's going to put him under big pressure now. As here comes Don Silva. He's gone to the inside. He's going to have a look into Ascari. No move made, but he will have a good run on him. to have a little pop into Parabolica, and that could invite Jacob to make it 3 wide as well. Let's go back to the tyres for the graphics so you guys Infinities with a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to do Infinities any good. And here goes Don Silva to the inside. And here goes Jacob. Is Jacob going to try and get involved as well? No, he thinks better of it. I think Jacob might have had the speed to make that 3 wide into turn 1, but there was no way that was ever going to work 3 wide into turn 1. So fair play. But now Romata, the Alfa Romeo, has got past Sneaky Ninja. He is right on the back of this Titanic scrap for P5. And just ahead, SJH is getting away from James. James under pressure from Don Silva. So here we go. This is the 5-way scrap for P4 now. As we got a yellow flag in sector 1. What's happened? It's gone away, and Sloshy is in a world of his own right now. 4.4 seconds ahead of Danger, who's a further 9 seconds ahead of SJH, who is about just under 3 seconds ahead of this 5-way scrap that is going on. Now, if I was James, I would be a little bit nervous going into turn 1. These guys are very close, going to be slipstreaming each other, as we got multiple penalties going on, but they're too many for me to mention. But I did notice the old name Valacello coming out, as Ivan actually has a little luck. He's made contact with Don Silva, and so is Jacob. Jacob's gone as well, the 3 of them into the grass and gravel. I don't know whether that was just Ivan locking up or whatever, but it did look like a very late move from Ivan to make that move down the inside of Don Silva. He was looking, but it does seem a little bit late. So that has actually just ruined our 4-5 man scrap for P4, but it has released Romata to go chasing after James. So it'll be interesting to see that battle when it comes around. So we got Don Silva now down into 8th, Jacob into 9th, and Ivan all the way back in 10th. I mean, if I had to place blame on anyone there, I think blame would have to go on Ivan. It seemed like a late move down the inside of turn 1. But we're going to go back to this fight. Don Silva and Jacob now for P8 instead of P5. We go further up the grid. Romata is actually a lot closer to James. He has closed our gap down incredibly fast, and James is losing time to SJH. But the gap between Sloshy, Danger and SJH appears to be holding steady. But I think Romata into turn 1 will have this move done. If he doesn't, in a scurry, that is. As we got Sneaky Ninja, who could be under pressure from Nas into turn 1 as well. And behind the other Renault, Don Silva definitely under pressure from Jacob. Are we going to see a move into Parabolica? This side by side. Jacob down the inside. Don Silva able to go around the outside there, side by side, wheel to wheel action as they exit Parabolica. It's a straight drag race down to turn 1, and I think Jacob might have it done, but Don Silva gets back into the slipstream, a little bit extra speed, and he's going to try it around the outside as Aero Specialist gets past Richmond for P12. So that's good for his recovery race. And Romata has got past James for P4. So let's see what Romata's pace is like compared to the front runners. Will he be able to close that gap? I wonder. As still side by side, Don Silva and Jacob. I think Jacob just gone to the curb, compromised his exit, and Don Silva has pounced. As Infinities picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's not good for Infinities, and we are already 11 laps into this Grand Prix. Unbelievable stuff. As Jacob gets a 3-second time penalty also. I mean, it's difficult to go to which fight is worth watching. I mean, there are a couple of good scraps going on right now. So we got Jacob and Don Silva, definitely the two I'm watching right now, because they're just going side by side at every opportunity. And it is great to see. But we got to see if Nas can get past Sneaky Ninja. Sneaky Ninja squeeze Nas to the inside. But I think Nas will have it done. And in the background you can see Jacob and Don Silva. Jacob down the inside. And here goes Don Silva, trying to get the switchback line on him. It doesn't work. And that is Jacob up in the P8 as Romata gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, actually, hang on. We had a little bit of contact between Nas and Sneaky Ninja. A little bit of contact. Is there any wing damage? I wonder. As we got Richmond and Bullet having a bit of a battle, and behind them is the Ferrari of Vallicello. Caught up in the instant early on as Sneaky Ninja gets past Nas. What's happened to Nas? Nas has lost 3 positions on the exit of Ascari. Did he just get it all wrong after the throttle? Don Silva actually, I think he allowed Nas back through. As Jacob sets a new fastest lap. It's going to be a good lap from him. As Richmond now lose a place to not only Bullet but also Vallicello. And Don Silva again back past Nas into turn 1. Lovely stuff. And Jacob all over the back of Don Silva's teammate right now, Sneaky Ninja. So this will be an interesting battle. We don't see these two going up against each other too often. Sneaky Ninja having a brilliant race so far, keeping out of trouble, keeping his nose clean, and he's being rewarded right now. You know, he's up in a decent points paying position. Vallicello gets another 3-second time penalty. At this point I'm not surprised. Danger with a 5-second stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no, that's gonna be that could be unfortunate, as Vallicello is actually retired. Is that from... Oh, he's lost it. Where's that to? Is that on the exit of the second Lesmo? Yes, it is. He's lost it on the exit of the second Lesmo. Unbelievable. I did say that curb was going to throw up a few spanners, but ooh, it's proven to be very tricky in these conditions. As Aero Specialist now in a bit of clean air, also able to set a new fastest lap. And Sneaky Ninja guessed the corner all wrong. And there goes Jacob. Don Silva will go down the inside of his teammate, lads. Keep it clean. Don Silva gets past. And Nas will be looking for a opportunity. But also the Ferrari of Ivan is also looking for that opportunity to get past the Mercedes. These four cars are very close on track. Very close. We could see two overtaking maneuvers into turn one. As Infinities crashed. Oh no, Infinities has lost it on the exit of Ascari. Oh, heartbreaking for the Force India driver. He was looking for a good result here. So in the space of 2 laps, we have lost the Ferrari of Vallicello and the Force India of Infinities. That is unfortunate from Infinities. I know he wanted a good race result here today. But we're still on this fight between the 2 Renault drivers and the Mercedes of Nas versus the Ferrari of Ivan. Are we going to see a move from Ivan now into Ascari? He's definitely close enough to have a little bit of a luck. He's going to hold it on the outside. Little bit of contact made, and there goes Ivan into the wall. I'm not sure who was at fault there. It was an awkward camera angle to see who was at fault for that one. We would have to have a look at their POVs at a later date. But it was very tricky to see who was at fault for that one on that camera angle. If anything, it looked like just not enough space given between Nas and Ivan. To be honest, I think that corner, it was kind of inevitable in these conditions that those two would make a little bit of contact, but you know, you don't want to see anyone in the wall the way that Ivan was. So we will have to have a look at their POVs as he puts on a set of super soft tyres. Super soft tyres in this condition, mate, you're off your head. And actually, if it has stopped raining. If this track is drying up, Dan Gurr has made an absolute mistake going into the pits. I mean, he's already got the 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but if it starts to dry up, that strategy of putting on a fresh set of inters has absolutely shot him in the foot, because if these guys can stretch the inters all the way to the dry period, then it will be brilliant for them. We're going to keep an eye on Ivan's lap times and see what he can do on those super soft tyres. Just keep an eye out. At the moment, it appears that it is way too early for the super soft tyres. Way too early. As Dan Gurr on those fresh intermediates setting a new fastest lap, he's going to be right on the back of Nas anytime soon. In fact, there he is. As we got the Renault still lying astern. Is that for Ivan on the... Yep, it is too early. It's too damp out there, mate. I mean, you hate to see it. You really do. I mean, he was kind of forced to make the choice. Intermediates for like a few more laps or gamble. He gambled and it hasn't worked out for him. Now, at the back end of the points, as we got Dango getting past Nas. But we also have Bullet versus Aero. Aero, who at the beginning of the race, if you remember, was involved in that collision with Vallicello at the beginning, forcing them both all the way back to the back of the grid. They were making progress coming through the field. As we got guys coming into the pits right now. Romata, James, Jacob and Nas. And Romata chucks on a set of these soft compound tyres, just making sure he does get to the end. And James and Jacob opt for the super soft tyres. So we got an interesting selection of strategies going on by here. As James, I believe, had a bit of an ice rink exit. As you saw, he almost went straight off, but it does appear to be still a little bit damp. But Dango now up into 5th place because of the pit stops being made. And if these guys lose enough time on those soft and super soft dry compound tyres, he could rejoin in that pack, in that fight with Romata, because he will have to serve a 5-second stop go as Jacob and James go side by side through the first Lesmo, and through the second one Jacob goes a little bit wide onto the curbing. Is James going to be able to get past him? Not at the moment. But as soon as DRS is enabled, it's going to be very interesting. As we got the race leader Sloshy coming out on a set of soft compound tyres. SJH coming out on a set of supers. And Sneaky Ninja has opted to come into the pits for a set of soft compound tyres. So his teammate probably giving him the nod to go in. But look at that, I mean, sheer dominance from Sloshy. He has come into the pits, he's come back out, and he's still ahead of Don Silva and Dango, who are on the intermediate tyres. He got a full pit stop ahead of him. Sheer dominance from Sloshy. And unfortunately for Dango, he has kind of shot himself in the foot by making that that pit stop for a fresh set of intermediates, as DRS is enabled. So now is the time for the dry compound tyres. So we're going to see these two guys, Don Silva and Dango, coming into the pits. Dango will have to wait 5 seconds as Aero Specialist. Oh no, he is out of the race. Where was that to? I'm struggling to see where it was to. His car is nowhere to be seen on track. I don't know what's going on there. But there we go. Dango serving his 5-second penalty. Don Silva is on his way. And there goes Dango. Let's see where they rejoin. As we got Romata, Sneaky Ninja and Jacob coming down the straight right now. Romata gets up into 3rd place, but goes a little bit deep. And he's completely cut off Sneaky Ninja. Oh, that's destructive. That curb, you clip it, it will launch you. It will just take you out of commission. And Romata and Sneaky Ninja just found out what happens when you go side by side, as we got the McLaren just kind of going straight on. His brakes just like, nah, I'm alright, mate. You know, I don't need it. Going straight on there, but unfortunate there for Romata and especially Sneaky Ninja. Sneaky Ninja done nothing wrong there whatsoever. But the way it's gone so far, we got a Red Bull 2-3, a Red Bull double podium right now. Who would have thought it? And the championship leader, Sloshy, looking to extend that gap as SJH sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Now these guys are going to have to deal with back markers soon. And look at this fight we got going on right now for third place. Jacob, who is just about a second ahead of Don Silva, who's just about a second ahead of Romata, who's just about a second ahead of James, and Danger looking to shape up a move on James for P6 as we speak. As we got the I'm wondering who that was then who was getting out of the way. Will Bullock get past Richmond? Yeah, he will. So here we go. It's dry tyres all the way to the end. Who is going to get the podium? Will it be Jacob? Will he bounce back and get a great podium finish? Will it be Don Silva? This is the battle for second in the championship as well. Jacob and Don Silva. Let me just have a look and confirm that. 3 points is the gap that Don Silva leads by, and if Jacob and Don Silva finish in these positions, it will be level pegging between the two of them. But they both will drop a further 10 points to Sloshy. SJH appears comfortable in P2. In fact, Jacob appears to be getting that gap to Don Silva, just staying out of DRS zone. So we gotta look at the other battles that are going on, and at the moment it is just Danger versus James. I don't know what happened to Romata. I was too busy looking up ahead. But Romata is now all the way back in 8th place. This has been a very roller coaster race for the Alfa Romeo Sauber driver here today. He's been up the front end, at the back end, in the middle, slipping forward, sliding backwards. He has been all over the grid today. And he's still in the points. He's still going, he's still battling, and this could be a nice move onto Sneaky Ninja. It won't be into Ascari, I can assure you, but it could be on the run down to turn 1, or maybe even Parabolica, if the exit is clean, and it is clean. It's a lovely exit from Romata, and he's gonna have a little look down the inside. He has gone for it. So here we go, the Sauber once again going through. Brilliant stuff from Romata. He has got DRS as well, which means he will benefit a little bit, help him defend from the slipstream that Sneaky Ninja will get back on him, and job done. Meanwhile, up ahead, Don Silva is within a second of Jacob, so the battle for the podium is not over yet, as Danger is literally right there. And it might be a good time to have a little look at the situation in terms of penalties. Jacob does have a penalty. No penalty for Don Silva yet. and it was just a stop-go for Dan Gur. So, at the moment, if Dan Gur can get past Don Silva, he will be on the podium. So here we go, both Don Silva and Dan Gur will have DRS, so it's going to be tricky for Dan Gur to get past, but it does appear that he has closed up, and Jacob gets another 3-second time penalty slapped on him, and that actually could put him under pressure from the likes of James and Romata. If Romata can close that gap down to James, he could drop all the way back to 7th. Here we go, as we're on lap 24 of 27. It has been a very enjoyable race, and it has been a very crazy race. Obviously, we had Baba retiring early, we had Vallicello losing it on the second Lesmo, we had Infinities losing it off Ascari, and Aero Specialist, who I don't know where he lost it, but he lost it somewhere. As here we go, Dan Gur down the inside of Don Silva, and looks like he's got it done. Lovely stuff. Dan Gur up into 4th, which will be the podium once Jacob's penalties have been added on. But of course, Dan Gur and Don Silva, they don't want to get the podium handed to them. They want to get there on merit, which means they want to get past this Red Bull driver of Jacob right in front of them. They all have very similar ERS deployment available to them. As Bullet gets a 3-second time penalty. Not good for Bullet whatsoever, but looks like Don Silva is kind of backing off a little bit as the leaders are on lap 26 of 27, and it looks to me like SJH is closing that gap. That gap has definitely come down. It's 5 seconds right now, and Dan Gur has got past Jacob, so Dan Gur now up into 3rd place legitimately. I'm sorry I missed that overtake, but it would have been a standard one down the inside of turn 1. I think we all know it would have been. Jacob on slightly older super soft tyres, and it's not working out well for him, because Dan Gur now, he's just getting away from him in the corners, and I think Don Silva is starting to close in on Jacob as well. So the race is definitely not over for these guys. Don Silva could very well get 4th legitimately on track without the inclusion of penalties. Have we got any other battles that are worth keeping an eye on? Dale versus Bullet. We know Bullet's got a penalty, so that might not be a straightforward one, as Dan Gur sets a new fastest lap. In fact, let's have a look at the fastest laps we got right now, and he has actually demolished our fastest lap at 22.3. Yeah, you can see Jacob is just losing hand over fist to Dangur ahead of him, and Don Silva is all over the back of him now as Bullet does get past Dale. These guys are coming through. Well, here he comes right now around the final corner. It's been sheer dominance today for the winner of the Italian Grand Prix for AOR F6, and is Sloshy on the top step of the podium again. We got SJH coming in second place. In fact, that's very close. Very close. Less than a tenth of a second. I'm guessing Sloshy had penalties added on as Dangur is coming around Parabolica. And it is going to be third place for Dangur. But who will get across the line first? It will be Jacob across the line first, but with penalties, Don Silva will get promoted as James gets 6th place. Romata in 7th, unable to get past the McLaren at the end with Sneaky Ninja in 8th. Nas is coming across the line right now for 9th, and oh, we're going to have a photo finish for 10th place. Bullet and Dale. And Dale has done it. I'm guessing it's to do with penalties, but we know Bullet had some penalties as Richmond finishes 12th. Ivan will be the last one to cross the line. And what a Grand Prix that was. It had everything. Stop, go, penalties, intermediate conditions. Collision in the wall off the start. We had collisions into turn 1. We had people losing the rear end all over the place. Traction was clearly a very tricky thing to handle, and it's been an absolute, it's been a madness to sit here and watch this race. At one point early in the race, we had 6 drivers battling out for P4. Madness. So there is your race winner, Sloshy, and as I said, that's close. A tenth, less than a tenth, 800ths of a second between SJH getting the top step of the podium and Sloshy keeping first place. I mean, that is as close as you can get. So we got Sloshy winning the race, SJH second, Dangur third, Don Silva fourth, Jacob fifth, James sixth, Romata in 7th. Good recovery from Romata. In 8th place we had Sneaky Ninja, Nas all the way down in 9th, Dale in 10th, Bullet 11th, Richmond 12th, Ivan 13th, went too early on those super soft tyres, Rich in 14th, Stern in 15th, and we got Aero Specialist, Infinities, Vallicello and Baba, all the non-finishers in this race, and it was unfortunate to see them all go out the way that they did. But I don't know what happened to Aero Specialist, so we'll have to see what will come of that during the week. But it has been brilliant to bring the coverage of the AOR F6 round number 14 Italian Grand Prix to you guys. And I hope you join me next week for round number 15, which is the Singapore Grand Prix, another tight, twisting circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your commentator for today, Ivor Bryn Mike, and I hope you've all had a fantastic day. And we shall catch you next week. Congratulations to Sloshy and to SJH and Dangur on the podiums. And we shall catch you next week for Singapore. Peace.